Good evening. Welcome to the September 9th, 2025 meeting of Pequannock Township Council. This March.
In accordance with the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice, which was filed in the office of the Township Clerk, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, published as a legal notice in the Suburban Trends and Daily Record newspapers, and distributed to all persons requesting notice in accordance with Township policy.
Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a prayer and a moment of thanks to individuals serving our nation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious Providence, we ask that you bless this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding, so that every deliberation will result in actions which will promote the common good and the general welfare for all of the people of Pequannock Township. Amen.
Thank you. The clerk will please call the roll.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Here.
Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mrs. Russell?
Here.
Mr. Siracusa?
Here.
Mayor Dracy?
Here. Moving on with the agenda, the next item is presentations. This is for the Route 23 northbound and southbound sewer extension appraisal report. Mr. Brooks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to bring the council and public up to speed with respect to the Route 23 sewer assessment report, this evening there is the potential confirmation of the assessment after the public hearing, and by way of background, I'm just going to explain how we come to the report that's before us. In 2016-ish, there was a conceptualized project to sewer Route 23 and some of the surrounding areas. The first legislative action was Ordinance 2017-1, adopted February 14th, happy Valentine's Day, of 2017, establishing the funding for the project and also imposing the concept of it being funded through special assessment. What that means is the beneficiaries of the project are held responsible for a portion of the capital expense to complete the project. The ordinance authorized the issuance of $6.1 million of debt and called for the collection of $4.6 million of that cost through those special assessments. Once the project was completed, one of the first steps was to confirm the total cost of the project. Although it was some time later and we had to go to a second bidder because of other issues, the total cost ended up being $6,883,704.46. The council did authorize additional funding, but did not increase the amount to be assessed from that original $4.6 million. Once the project was completed and the total cost was certified, the council engaged with a special assessor and appraiser who completed a report, which was then posted on the website on July 31st. The report is dated August, the report has a date of value of May 30th. The process requires that certain letters and notices be published. All the letters and notices were published. There was a required hearing where people had an opportunity to hear from the appraiser how he came up with the values and ask questions. Part of the purpose of that is to determine if there were any errors or issues made. There was one mislabeled property identified, which necessitated the issuance of a revised report, which was also posted on the front of the township's website and is now what is presented to the council for its consideration. All the information remains posted on the front page of the township's website. The project was completed and we did initiate the 3-year connection requirement for those beneficiaries of the project. And moving forward, the council's consideration of confirmation, that report remains published. There's a hard copy here, and if there's any questions from the council, I'll do my best to address.
Is there any questions from council right now? I know we've talked about this quite a bit.
Yeah. Yes, it originates
a long time.
9-10 years ago. It's a long project.
All right, hearing none, we'll move on to the public hearing portion. Next is on the agenda is the public hearing on the Route 23 northbound, southbound sewer assessment. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If anyone in the audience has any questions or comments on this report, please come to the microphone and identify yourself for the record. Seeing none? Oh, did we? Somebody raise their hand?
No?
Nope. All right, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next item on the agenda is resolutions on this subject. Ms. Marshall.
This is Resolution R 2025-173 to confirm assessments for the Route 23 northbound and southbound sewer extension.
Thank you. Any comments from council?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion to adopt this resolution?
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution R 2025-173.
Second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Siracusa?
Yes.
Mayor Treese?
Yes. Moving on with the agenda, is at this time, are there any reports or comments from any of the volunteers serving our community? Good. Seeing none, we'll move on to the public comment section. This comment period will be limited to a total of 30 minutes. Additional time is reserved later in the meeting. We welcome comments, suggestions, and questions. However, the purpose of this time is to allow public comment and not to engage in dialogue. If you have a specific question, please feel free to pose it and then follow up with staff via telephone or email. Comments are limited to 3 minutes, please. If anyone wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized and come to the microphone and provide your name for the record. Yes, come on up.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Dana Calabrese. This is my son, Johnny.
Hey, Johnny, how we doing tonight?
Hi, everybody, neighbors, hello. I have some handouts, if I could pass those around quickly. We are here tonight to propose to the mayor, the council, and our neighbors a pump track, a bicycle pump track for the township of Pequannock. My son is ultra involved and excited with mountain biking, and there's not too much in this town as far as trails go, or would you like to see this place? Or opportunities or places to actually pedal bike around town without being on the road, on the streets, or on the sidewalks where pedestrians are. Also, the path is wonderful, we do love it, but there's a lot of walkers and dog walkers, so it doesn't make for the best place for...
Mrs. Calabrese, sorry to interrupt you. If you could just talk into the microphone to the council. Yeah,
I'm so
thank you.
sorry. I do have more copies, should I just leave these up here?
Yep, sure.
Everyone to see? So anyhow, a pump track. If anyone has not heard of a pump track, it's a paved area, basically with little, ups and downs. Am I explaining this right? He always yells at me for not explaining it correctly. But it's basically a bike track where kids on pedal bikes, they can go in a contained area that's safe, very presentable, clean area. It encourages active participation from family and from kids. So we're looking for an outlet for kids to be able to enjoy bike riding in a safe environment. One of the benefits to this is that now we have this beautiful path that runs through town, and there is quite a draw from also people that don't live in Pequannock. So I think having the pump track would also be a great addition to that. We were thinking about maybe charging a small fee, maybe like an annual admission or membership, just to bring in a little revenue to the town. But really, it's going to be a great outlet for the kids and families that aren't involved with town sports every single night, that they also have another place to go to ride their bikes. Let's see some of the other highlights that we have. So it's relatively inexpensive to construct this. There's one up in Vernon. If anyone travels up by Vernon and up to Mountain Creek, there's one up there that there's a great example of it, and it's very low maintenance as well. And we do have open fields in the town here that we feel could be possible opportunities for constructing this pump track. So I know that not everyone has the handout, but again, we wanted to do this pump track to build a family-oriented park. It would bring more people into the town, which would also generate economic benefits, such as, the restaurants, the diners, the ice cream places. If more families and more kids come into the town, more revenue for local businesses, which is always good. The closest pump track that there is up in Vernon, and it's 26 miles from here. So we go on the weekends occasionally, but it's kind of a haul. But of course, because we're 26 miles away, we're always stopping at the deli. We're stopping here, we're stopping there. So by having an additional place for families to come, even if it just is in Pequannock and residents of Pequannock, we really feel that it would generate a little bit of extra revenue for the town, which we love. So Pequannock has an awesome reputation for being vibrant and active and sports-oriented. This is a sport that has not really been capitalized on yet. We're a very, football, wrestling, team sports, town sports type of town, which is awesome, but there's also kids that don't do those type of sports all the time. Johnny is extremely athletic with more of extreme type of sports, mountain biking, dirt biking, quads, things like that. And there's a lot of kids in this town that would also love the opportunity to expand on their pedal bike skills.
All right, so Johnny, why do you like it? Come on, I want to hear from you. What do you think? You like being outside?
Yeah.
Yeah? You like riding a bike?
Loves it.
Yeah?
Love
What
it.
else? Anything? No? All right. All right, well, yeah, I mean, we'll definitely, I've heard about it, I've talked to Mr. Brewer about it, we'll definitely take a look, when the budget season's coming up, so
Okay.
we can take a look at it a little bit further,
Okay.
and see if we can work on it, so.
That would be amazing. Thank you. Thank
Just
you
out
so
of
much for
curiosity,
studying. Yeah.
is this the first time everyone's seeing it, or have they collaborated with the town manager or anybody in town?
No collaboration.
Spoken about tonight, but not beyond that.
And I knew about it because I met Johnny at the SJG fourth grade when they came to the town hall and visited all different departments. And, his mom said, hey, if we have an idea, for something for the town, what should we do? I said, come to a council meeting.
Right.
Perfect.
So here we are. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. It's
All right.
a great idea.
Thanks for coming, Johnny.
Thank you.
Anybody else, public comment? Come on up.
I agree.
Hi, everybody.
Good evening.
Dave again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Very nice to hear. I'm going to talk a little bit about 60 Sunset.
Could you state
I'm
your
not
name?
up here.
Could you
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, Rich Walter, 50 Sunset Road, Pompton Plains. Not here to debate anything or start any banter or anything like that. And I'm not even sure if you're aware, yesterday there was a conference call concerning the Pascack Valley Learning Center and the lawsuit against the town. I'm just going to read a few things that I wrote down about it, just for your awareness and possibly maybe we're not going in the right direction, I don't know. But anyway, their attorneys, Pascack Valley, and our attorney, Eric Harrison, were on, and each opened with a brief synopsis of key points for each side as requested from the judge. I'll describe in a statement what I heard, and in my opinion, what was unsettling to our town and the residents. To sum it up as I remember, because it was an audio recording, or audio call, Pascack Valley said they simply wanted to come into town quickly and open a school using the existing buildings that were on the property. They mentioned the lot size was too small, but there were no other lots available, I guess, in town. I know there were some in the area. But anyway, they didn't refer to any other variances they applied for except for some small signage. They said that there was already a school on the property. They also said that during the zoning board hearings, the Pequannock residents and zoning board were animus, first time I heard that word, basically we had animosity, in our questions and demeanor to the applicant. The insinuation was the only reason we objected to the build was religious discrimination, not as to the real effect on the community, which was our objection. As a resident of Pequannock, I take great offense to that and consider it slanderous, as do many others. I understand that the plaintiff will say whatever they need to prevail. But, and here's where I'm troubled, there was no challenge or even disagreement to these claims from Pascack Valley by Eric Harrison, the insurance company attorney that Pequannock is using to represent our town and citizens. He indicated his goal was to settle this as quickly as possible and was confident that it would be easy to come to a resolution to satisfy the plaintiff, Pascack Valley. This is not what we were told to us by the council attorney at our last meeting. Not that he said directly we're going to win this case or anything like that, but it was indicated that the attorney that we were using was not anxious to settle, especially at the start of the process, but that's what he presented on the call yesterday. Insurance attorney Harrison, again our attorney, did not correct or dispute any claims in the plaintiff's opening, including that existing buildings were to be used when in reality they are demolishing and building new, and these elaborate plans are on file. That a school was already there. Our attorney, Mr. Harrison, never mentioned that this school was a nursery school that was held in 2 rooms of an original building that had maybe 20 toddlers in it at a time, if that. I know because all 3 of my children attended it over the years. It wasn't a K through 12 high school with multi-rooms, a soccer field, tandem parking, a locking mechanical gate, and a large loading area, among other things. That's quite a difference, but the insinuation that there was already a school there wasn't even discussed by our attorney. No other variances or ordinance discrepancies or key points as requested by the judge were brought up by our attorney, insurance attorney Eric Harrison, such as going over impervious coverage, fence height and placement, water retention basement, the width of Sunset Road. I could go on and on as the number of variances were double-digit. There was no mention from our attorney of traffic safety, improper traffic studies, which were a real fiasco if you were at the meetings, or water issues in the immediate area, including the flooding of Room Ave 6 to 8 times a year when it rains. There was no mention from our attorney on our master plan or ordinances in place to protect the character and safety of our town. No pushback whatsoever. In fact, insurance company attorney Harrison suggested that current ordinances could be changed to accommodate the build, which I'm not a lawyer, but I thought that was kind of incredible. Our attorney even agreed with the plaintiff that the Pequannock residents were awful. Awful was his exact word. Are you kidding me? This is our attorney? Again, I'm offended, and I hate it when people say, I'm so offended, but I'm offended and possibly slandered, grouped into an alleged prejudiced public, not valued as a citizen by our own attorney. So, our attorney even asked a question concerning the monetary charges his firm would be responsible for if we reached a quick resolution. That doesn't sound like an attorney that has our best interest at heart, rather one more concerned about cost, in my opinion. What I got from that call was that we were laying down before anything even began. Maybe there's a legal strategy here that I don't understand. And if there is, my apologies. Maybe we have something in place that then there's a reason he did that. It certainly doesn't line up with what we were told at the last council meeting. So anyway, I would encourage the council, if you weren't on the call, and I don't know if anybody was or not, or if you haven't already seen the minutes of that conference call from yesterday, I would encourage you strongly to obtain them. Talk about this when you go into the closed executive session, hopefully with our attorney, Eric Harrison. The call was yesterday, September 8th, and just decide for yourselves if we're on the right path here. Or at least let the residents know where we really stand on this defense of our lawsuit. If in fact that's our goal, to just settle as quickly as possible, because then, I guess we're done. But from the last council meeting to the call yesterday, it was quite incredible. And I kind of thought I was done with this, but the call yesterday was quite concerning. Everything that I said in here was said on the call. So I encourage you to obtain the minutes. I appreciate your time. I know that this has been going on for a long time. We've all worked hard on it, and we're just looking out for the best interest of Pequannock. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Come on up.
You didn't know either?
Sandy the Court. Do I say my address too, or? Okay.
don't have to.
Thanks. I was also on the telephone call listening in yesterday, and as you know, I think I got up here before and said I've read all the transcripts, both the original ones and the corrected ones. I've listened to all the audio tapes from all of them and annotated a lot of this, and then listened to that call. And as Rich said, it was very disturbing. I couldn't believe what I was hearing, that their attorney said the only problem besides the 5-acre requirement was, just a few signs, and they really want to get in by the fall, and they can go in by the fall. They can go use the property now, according to, I called the town, and all they need is the fire marshal to come over to get their CO. They've already abated their asbestos, so that was a misleading statement, and that bothers me. And our attorney said nothing about it. So they say that there's 5 acres that we require. They only have 4. Fold down your thumb. That's 20% they're missing. And our attorney says nothing about that. Our attorney also said that he has a slim majority of town council members who are ready or willing to settle. So that means there's 5 of you, and slim majority out of 5 would be 3 of you are willing to settle and 2 aren't. And only you will know what's true. I'm not asking you to tell me or anything, but is this accurate? You should be thinking about that. And as he said, I really highly encourage you to listen to this yourself. And I think you and our community deserve an attorney who understands the facts of this case, that this community cared about, where they were going to build, how they were going to build, what they were going to build, and how they were going to build it, and not who. I understand it's a nice little ploy or whatever to say that it's about who. It's not about who. They didn't come in and say, oh, the only thing we need is the 5 acres. We're building a small enough lot, we have enough parking, we're a smaller school now, there's no impervious coverage problem, there's no traffic problems. They said there weren't, and we who live here, we all know that there are traffic problems in that area. So, if I were you, I'd be, upset. Or maybe I just misunderstand what I think you believe about our community and your willingness to stand up for us. Our whole town, our personality. Like him, I feel it's slanderous. I really do. Anyhow, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Cindy. Anybody else for public comment? Yes, come on up.
Good evening, Lorraine Robertson. I'm here on the 60 Sunset as well. I was one of the people that heard about the case last minute and logged into the call, and that was the 440 civil rights, other civil rights cause against Pequannock Township, our zoning board and board of adjustment. I was appalled by the statements that were made, but I want to go over, since this is more on civil rights, I wanted to go over a couple of things. I did consult with my attorney who represented us, represented me at the board meetings. So I wanted to make a statement that integrity is really who most of us are. And I believe that what we do and say, every cause has an action. I stand by the decision of our zoning board based on the fact that they followed the laws. The town zoning laws, the state laws were reviewed, as well as our master plan. I believe that the zoning board denied the application based on those laws. And to me, their hardship was self-created. They, in the end, started to invoke religious status, identifying as a faith-based private school. And the only time this came up during the meetings was when we were questioning who the applicant was. Was it Pascack Valley? Was it One School Global? One School Global is listed here. And that's when they volunteered the information that it was being funded by their religious organization. But now they're looking to invoke the RUPLA laws in the attempts to overturn the denial in a discrimination case against Pequannock. Whether their self-created hardship is a valid base under relief of the zoning law, whether they can invoke this or not, right, whether the town has to defend upon improper use of protections as shielding for zoning violations. The zoning principles are when hardships are created by the applicant, voluntary actions are not grounds for release. Under Rule 42, USC 200cc protects religious institutions from burdens on religious exercise imposed by land use regulations. That's okay, I agree with that. However, the claim requires proof that the government action, which is our zoning board and board of adjustment, puts burden on religious exercise. Based on the numerous amount of churches that we have in this town, I don't see it as a burden. And every one of those churches are inclusive. Courts have created that courts stated that self-created hardships and overbuilding attempts do not amount to burden under RUPLA. Our municipal governance is our township is applying the zoning ordinances consistently without favor or exception. So what I look at is if we act lawfully in denying variances based on zoning laws and ordinances, religion played no role. And for them to basically say that we were unlawful and that we were out of control is really sad to hear. When we put our trust and faith in an insurance company that's going to represent not only our town council and zoning board, they're representing us, the community. If you weren't a part of listening in, I did type notes up based on the actual recording, if you'd like to see them. I mean, it's appalling. And I really ask the town council to stand on integrity, to uphold the laws, uphold the ordinances, so the next person doesn't come in and do the same thing. Did you want copies?
I do.
Yeah, that would be great, yes.
Thank you.
These are my personal notes. I typed as fast as I could. I did miss a couple of little things here and there.
Thank you.
Do you have one for the clerk, too?
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Carol.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there a taped audio recording somewhere?
I honestly don't know. I do know that I'm sure.
Here.
Sorry, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I do know that it usually takes a while for transcripts to be released. So I was sitting at my computer and I just started typing up what I heard. So there's definitely misspellings there, but,
Okay.
and for the benefit of people too, the statement that he made, I did have Jamal, give me the explanation for the legal terminology that was used.
Gotcha. All right, thank you.
Can I ask a
Thank
quick
you.
question?
Thank you.
Sure.
Did anybody else up here know that we could listen to this call?
No.
Didn't even know it was full.
Did we even know the call was going on?
I guess it's logged in on the public website for the court.
Did we actually know?
The court is always
Yeah, the
open.
court's
I didn't
open.
know that.
Yeah, I wish somebody would have told us.
Yeah, unfortunately, none of us looked, and the way they're finding it is they just Google Pascack Valley Learning Center and they find it. It's public record, it's public.
Yep.
There are two other dates listed for when this is going to be heard again. So that's in there.
Great.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Hold on, Richard,
Just to add on to what Kyle asked.
you gotta come up.
You gotta come up.
But let's let other people talk too, so, but you can,
Take 10 seconds.
all right, come on up.
I was just going to say,
And again, based on Kyle's question, I would just think that our attorney should be letting you know what's going on. And I don't mean that in an insulting manner. It just was a surprise to all of us as it was to you. Hey, who knew about the call? The only reason we knew was because we Googled the lawsuit to know what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. What's come up? You can be next, okay? Right?
Good evening, Alex Baraskis. I wasn't actually going to speak at all. And many of you know that I spoke a lot during the zoning meetings, bringing up various things. I was a little bit taken aback by the comments from your representative of the insurance company about us as the townspeople. I would think that the amount of people that showed up to show that support for this issue was pretty impressive, shall I say. I've come to a few of the zoning board meetings, and there are hardly anybody here. And you had a couple hundred people at a time in the high school. And I think the fact that the attorney did not even notify anybody on this board, the fact that there was a hearing is shocking, is absolutely shocking, not to mention the fact that he did mention about coming up with a quick solution to this problem. Now, there may be a quick solution to this problem. I don't know. I'm not an attorney. I am an engineer, and I can tell you that from an engineering standpoint, it doesn't work. But I would hope that you're going to have a further conversation with our attorney of record and possibly think about looking to get a third-party attorney to represent us, because this is shocking. It really is. And I'm sorry, I just think that for an attorney to go, listen, he didn't have to say anything. Nobody asked, he didn't have to defend us at that point, but he didn't have to agree with the plaintiff. I don't think we were out of line. I think that's part of the process. Part of the process is we are allowed to come up and question the applicant. We did. And a lot of people put a lot of hard work and time and effort into that. And to be treated like that is shameful. So I would hope that everybody takes that into account. Thank you.
All right, Alex, thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Hi, I'm Patty Den. At the last town council meeting, it was stated on public record that all of you here were involved in the decision-making process with the insurance attorney. Having worked for insurance for many years, sometimes, I guess what I'm trying to find out is who has the final say. Sometimes when you have a contract with an insurance company to defend you, there might be a clause in there that says they have the final say. So I guess what I'm just trying to find out, is it come to a vote, or is there something with the insurance company that they say, this is what's best? Like, who gets to say what's best? The insurance company, or do you get to direct the attorney? So who's in charge? And if you did go for outside counsel, then how does that come into play? So those are just some questions that, I don't know if you could answer that here, but
Maybe
yeah.
when we're done, I'll ask Mr. Ostek just to comment on this,
Sure.
because we really can't, so.
Yeah, no, I understand. And you know, I'm glad I'm not in any of your seats, because you have a big decision ahead of you, and if you do decide to fight this aggressively, yes, it's going to cost money, and yes, it's going to come out of our taxes. But there's also a concern is our property values going down? So there's a lot of things to weigh, and I think it's up to the people in town to decide, all right, are we willing to take this increase? So, yeah. It's just questions that if you could comment on, it would be great.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Patty. Anyone else for public comment? All right, seeing none, we're going to close the public comment section. I'm going to ask just Mr. Ostek to elaborate on some of the questions, comments.
Yeah, well, for the most part, it was comments, and I hear them. We will certainly check in with our assigned counsel and try to get a better sense of what went on and what this was about. I do know this would have been nothing other than a initial conference. But sometimes those do set tones, and I'll have a discussion with him about what the strategy was with the tone and what this was all about, so that we can understand it and I can explain it better to the council and to the public. I don't sitting here now. I did not listen in on it, so I do not know. I do not know what took place. As to the questions about our insurance and our insurance coverage, we do have insurance coverage. They are defending us in this. There is also a limit to that insurance coverage that we have to be cognizant of. We do certainly have a right in decision-making. This is not the kind of case where the insurance company will dictate, because this isn't really all about money, right? There's a money component to this, but there's also a component to this that involves, potentially being able to develop land in a way that our board did not approve of. And that component is not about money, and that would have to be a decision that came here, not from the insurance company. What the insurance company will have a right to do, though, is say, we don't think your decision-making is in the best interest of our insurance company and our responsibilities, and therefore we're going to decline to continue to fund this and represent you. And that's a risk we have to be, we have to be concerned about. And we're cognizant of that and aware of that as well. I don't know, the council has not authorized a settlement of this in any way. We haven't even come close to understanding what that might even look like. We certainly wanted to communicate, because you would never want to communicate to a court that you have a complete closed mind about any kind of solution, because that's asking for trouble right from the beginning. But there's a difference between having an open mind and necessarily agreeing with things you don't and shouldn't agree to. So I've got to get a sense of where that is. But there's been no direction from here that the matter is ripe for settlement even. We don't even know what that would take at this point, so we couldn't possibly have authorized that at this moment. I think communicating an open-mindedness is probably what was being done. We did want that communicated, because we do need to keep an open mind. We all have to keep an open mind to what the possibilities are. But we have to do that. We have to keep an open mind to the possibilities that, this is not going to work for us, and we have to keep fighting. So we'll see. Okay, and that's where we're at. I will investigate further and report back.
Okay, yeah, if you can report back, that'd be great. Thank you, Mr. Ostek. Moving on with the agenda, the next item on the agenda is the manager's report. Mr. Brewer.
Thank you, Mayor. Last meeting, there was a question regarding the use of a recently acquired property by the church on West Franklin as a follow-up to the conversation about the West Franklin parking concerns. I didn't speak to the church, but I did speak with staff about that piece of property. In order for them to use that as a parking lot, I can say that there would need to be a merger through subdivision and a revised site plan application for the planning board, and then obviously the improvements to the parking lot. So I don't know if that's an impediment or not, but I know that's not an inexpensive endeavor, so that may be a challenge that they're waiting for the right time to deal with. With respect to the Route 23 sewer assessment, we talked about that. I won't go any further into that, though there's more written in my report. Greenview pickleball courts, this evening we have a public hearing and potential adoption of an ordinance establishing the membership fees for the use of the tennis and pickleball courts at Greenview. Additionally, there's a public hearing and potential adoption of an ordinance to fund the deficit in the Wells 1 and 2 PFAS treatment project. As we discussed at the last council meeting at some length, based upon the application to iBank in an effort to get principal forgiveness or favorable interest rates, there were additional requirements, the most expensive being 100% inspection that caused professional services to go up. We also had to go past the lowest bidder due to a fatal flaw, which was a $291,000 difference. So we ended up in about $213,000 in the hole. Based upon the recommendation of bond counsel, they suggested a $500,000 authorization. Not that that necessarily needs to get spent, but if change orders present themselves, as this is a project that isn't a want to, this is a project that is a have to. We have to install the filters to remove the PFAS to remain in compliance. Lastly, there's an ordinance to fund the 2022 home elevation grants through FEMA. This elevation grant round funds 7 houses. The authorization for the issuance of debt is consistent with all the prior years, and we continue down the path of, I think, in excess of 40 houses at this point participating in the elevation. Also, there was a discussion item at the last meeting regarding the personnel manual and policy and procedures handbook. Following the council's direction, that was prepared for formal approval, and there's a resolution corresponding to that. Next item is recommended changes to the Pequannock Township Engine Company 2 bylaws. A review of the bylaws by a subcommittee or a committee of Engine Company 2 came up with some recommendations for changes. That was presented to the membership. Ultimately, the membership approved it. I met with the folks from Company 2 a couple of occasions and ultimately have approved and recommended those changes for the governing body's authorization via resolution. As I note in my memo, there was an ordinance adopted empowering the township manager to approve changes to the rules and regulations of the police department. So this is a little unusual when compared to the police department's operations. The council can choose to delegate that authority or it can retain it. I just note that as being something a little different than our other operations. In addition, for the council's consideration, there's a resolution authorizing additional membership to the Morris County Municipal Joint Insurance Fund. Those are 3-year cycles. This year's cycle concludes on December 31st, so it would be through December 31st, 2028. And there's a resolution authorizing a memorandum of understanding between the Township Council and the County of Morris for the First Amendment support team. I put in my memo through a drafting error, which my 8th grade self really appreciated, the First Amendment response team. So FAST spells something very different than FART, but honoring my 8th grade self, it's supposed to be the First Amendment support team. Essentially, that is a group that's being created under the auspices. It happens. Under the auspices of the Morris County Sheriff, where chiefs of police are designating a couple of officers to participate in a team to respond to public events and public displays of concern. We've had a number of public speech exercising elements in Pequannock Township for both the left and the right and everything in between, and I'm exceptionally proud of our police department. No matter who's involved, everybody appreciates how they approach it. So there's going to be some officers assigned to that, which will enhance training and make everything better and be helpful for the region. The chief doesn't need approval to do that, but the opportunity was presented to have a memorandum of understanding, and I thought that wasn't a bad thing for the First Amendment support team. It's not something you celebrate often, but we have a new agreement with the city of Newark, if the council approves it, for the acquisition of bulk water, which we started negotiating in 2019. So for Mr. Ostey, the township's consulting water and sewer engineer, and myself, this is a big deal. We're very excited about this.
Should have brought a cake.
After 6 years of trying, there might be fireworks, though I don't want any more booms. The contract is virtually identical, at least in its core elements, to the previous one that expired in 2019. There is a balance that was owed because the city of Newark charged us the same rate for the last 5 years, and even though their rates changed, they never increased what we paid. But I credit the council with the foresight to reserve funds, knowing this was going to be happening. So the fact that we have reserved adequate funds to pay the $770,000 difference is fantastic without any deleterious impact on our water utility. So we're in good financial position and we're well prepared to execute a contract that took a really long time to get done. Also, it's a 10-year agreement that doesn't start in 2020, it starts in 2025, so we don't have to do this again for 10 more years.
Yeah.
We still need their water? Even
Yes.
with all that we're spending on our new water tank and our
Absolutely.
wells and our PFAS, we're spending millions and millions. And
Correct. In order to maintain something called firm capacity, which is the necessary providing of water for the usage and fire, we are required to have them or some other party that can provide the same amount of water.
But once our wells are all up and running, won't it be okay? Because I thought we shut the one well down because of PFAS, so if we pick that up again.
We have 2 usable wells, and we need both of them in the city of Newark.
And what wasn't another main reason we did Newark is for the blending of the hard water and
The virtues,
the ruins of all of the appliances and
Yeah.
faucets and shower heads.
Yeah, the detriment of surface water is you get trihalomethanes and haloacidic acids, which we dealt with a number of years ago, but they corrected that issue. The benefit is it does balance against the hardness of the water that comes out of the aquifer. So the goal from the engineer perspective.
I didn't see any change. The water's still very hard and still leaves stains.
Okay.
Just saying.
My hair,
So I'm excited because we got a new contract.
my hair loves it.
And then lastly, within my report, we have a discussion item later this evening regarding third-party company to manage outside duty or off-duty the police department administration. So unless there's any questions, and I apologize for a second report that went well into the alphabet, but thank you for your patience.
All right, any comments from council? Hearing none? None? None. Okay. Public hearing. Next on the agenda is the public hearing on ordinance number 2025-10. Ms. Marsh.
Ordinance 2025-10 is a bond ordinance providing for the elevation of flood-prone homes in and by the Township of Pequannock in the County of Morris, New Jersey, appropriating $1,767,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,767,000 bonds or notes of the township to finance the cost thereof.
Thank you. Any comments from council? Hearing none, is there a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make that motion to open the public hearing.
Second. 3 seconds? Man, that's pretty good. All in favor?
Aye.
If anyone in the audience has any questions or comments on this ordinance, please come to the microphone and identify yourself for the record. Seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance?
I'll make a motion to adopt that ordinance, number 2025-10.
Second. Mr. Saracusa, roll call, please.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Siracusa?
Yes.
Mayor Dreese?
Yes. Next on the agenda is public hearing on ordinance number 2025-11. Ms. Marsh.
Ordinance number 2025-11 is an ordinance amending chapters 152 and 237 of the Code of the Township of Pequannock and establishing membership fees and rules for pickleball and tennis court use.
Any comments from council?
No, nothing changed since we talked about this stuff?
It's consistent with what was previously discussed.
Okay.
All right, is there a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make that. Go ahead, Dave.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If anyone in the audience has any questions or comments on this ordinance, please come to the microphone and identify yourself for the record. Seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Make that motion.
Go ahead, you get.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance?
Go ahead, Dave.
I'll make that motion to adopt ordinance number 2025-11.
I'll second.
All right, roll call, please.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Siracusa?
Yes.
Mayor Dreese?
Yes. Next on the agenda is public hearing on ordinance number 2025-12. Ms. Marsh.
Ordinance number 2025-12 is a bond ordinance providing a supplemental appropriation of $500,000 for the treatment of wells number 1 and number 2 and related improvements in and by the Township of Pequannock in the County of Morris, New Jersey, and authorizing the issuance of $500,000 in bonds or notes of the township to finance the cost thereof.
Thank you. Any comments from council?
Nope, we're talking.
Hearing none, is there a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. If anyone in the audience has any questions or comments on this ordinance, please come to the microphone and identify yourself for the record. Seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance?
I'll make a motion to adopt 2025-12.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Siracusa?
Yes.
Mayor Dreese?
Yes. Item number 10, there are no ordinance scheduled for introduction at this time, so we'll move to 11. The next item is resolutions. Ms. Marsh.
Beginning with Resolution R 2025-174, approving the designated special event permit application for the Post 242 Car Show. 175, approving the designated special event permit application for Wreaths Across America. 176, approving the Personnel Policies and Procedures Manual Employee Handbook of the Township of Pequannock. 177, for renewal of membership in the Morris County Municipal Joint Insurance Fund. 178, authorizing the execution of a memorandum of understanding between the Township of Pequannock Police Department and the County of Morris and the Morris County Sheriff's Office regarding the Township of Pequannock Police Department's participation in the First Amendment Support Team. Fast. 179, authorizing the discretionary award of contracts for the purchase of tools for the Department of Public Works to JPK Junior Tools, LLC, Snap-on Tools, in an amount that may exceed $17,500, but will be less than $53,000. 180, approving revisions to the Engine Company 2 bylaws. 181, authorizing the execution of a bulk water purchase agreement between the Township of Pequannock and the City of Newark. 182, authorizing tax office refunds, overpayments, or cancellations. And R 2025-183, approving payment of the itemized claims as set forth on the August 21st and September 4th bills list and September 4th, 2018 FEMA elevation escrow list.
Thank you, Ms. Marsh. Are there any comments on any of the resolutions from council?
I have a comment on 2025-179. So they thought they only needed 19,000, but now they might need 53,000 or 53,000 more.
So this is a resolution to comply with the pay-to-play laws of the state of New Jersey, which require legislative approval of anything in excess of $17,500.
Okay.
Right now, we're at about $18,000, so we've exceeded that $17,500. And essentially, it's confirming that it is a non-fair and open contract, meaning the purveyor has not given you all financial contributions that exceed a threshold that's prohibited in the state of New Jersey. So essentially, we're just saying this contract is not being awarded because of financial contributions we spent. The dollar amount is in the resolution. 18, is it 18 and change?
Yeah, it says 19.
19 and change. 53,000 is the bid threshold.
So they might need another 30,000.
No, we don't think we're going to need another $30,000.
But just in case.
Yeah, because to satisfy the 17.5 threshold, we can't go beyond 53 by law without going out to bid. So that's why you.
So that's why you put the 53.
Okay, but there's no
In the past, it's
specific.
been 44.
There's
but
no
we'll change it.
specific tools that all of a sudden they need. It's just that's what I'm curious about.
We need mechanics tools. So we can buy.
They are not cheap.
As the budget allows, we've been adding tools over the years, and this year we spent in excess of 17.5 in order to not get in trouble with the auditors. This resolution requires.
Okay. So they're not necessarily going out and spending $30,000 more on tools.
Not necessarily, but they could. Well, I could as the purchasing agent.
Okay.
But you don't need it.
I don't plan to spend $53,000.
You don't plan it, and you're not going to frivolously just...
I know, it wasn't in the
go out and
budget,
buy it.
that's why, so, okay.
And if we did with 7 different vendors, then we wouldn't have to do this resolution.
Gotcha, okay.
Any other comments?
No.
Is there a motion to adopt these resolutions?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolutions 2025-174 through R 2025-183.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Lawrence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes, I'll abstain to R 2025-178, being that my son is a police officer in Pequannock.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Siracusa?
Yes.
Mayor Dreesy?
Yes. Next item on the agenda is the items for discussion. For the off-duty / outside duty third-party administration. Mr. Rowe.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Police Department undertook a review of operations associated with off-duty, or what I'll call outside duty work. This is when JCP&L needs a police officer to control traffic so they can cut trees or do work on the road. This is when the County of Morris needs to retain a police officer to keep everybody safe on the turnpike when they're doing all the improvements. So this does not relate to actual police department law enforcement operations. It's the outside duty. Currently, the process involves a contractor reaching out to the patrol lieutenant and making a request for outside duty to be scheduled either in an emergency capacity or at some time in the future. Sometimes the patrol lieutenant is on vacation, sometimes it's at 11 o'clock. If the patrol lieutenant is not available, the captain or the chief get involved. The contractor says, I need X officers on this date. It gets scheduled, the work gets done. The township pays the police officers out of the salary and wage line item and then pursues collection from the contractor. Administratively, there's some bumps and challenges associated with the police officers that are involved. What is proposed is very common, not only in the state, but in Morris County. I'd say roughly half the municipalities use a third-party service, and the way the third-party service works is the service, an ordinance needs to be put in place by the council authorizing this, and a resolution needs to award the contract. The service provider, the third party, would work with the police department and the finance department to get everything set up that follows our rules and procedures and policies. And the contractor then contacts the service and says, I need X officers for this date. An estimate is prepared by the third-party service, and they say, okay, well, then you need to give us a deposit of this amount of money. They do that. The third-party service has an app that goes out to all the officers, again, following whatever our procedures are, and the officers are empowered to sign up for that overtime, and whatever our rules may be, seniority, who last did it, etc. As soon as that time is worked, the third-party company remits payment to the township, and we make payment with the contractor's money as opposed to our salary. There's the financial liability shoring up, which is beneficial to the township. What's in it for the third-party contractor? They charge, the third-party service provider, they charge a 20% cost to the contractor. So there's no cost to taxpayers, there's no cost to us as a municipality. In fact, financially, it shores up the liability, so we're not running around. Although Chief Commune is one heck of a debt collector. We're not sending the chief to go get people. It's just a different way of operating. So if the council has questions, I go into a little bit more detail in my written report, but I just wanted to kind of provide an explanation. And again, this was a review coming out of the police department with a recommendation from them that would necessitate legislative action should it come into place.
So this was recommended by the police department?
Correct. And with respect to contractors, it is so common. I've participated in 3 pre-construction meetings with contractors, and one of the questions is how do we arrange for the traffic control? And they say, there's 2 predominant services in Morris County. So they, do you use X or Y for your outside duty? And we say, no, we do it in-house. And they go, what? Oh, who do I contact then? So it's this is not something that's unusual or objected to by the contractors. It's become very common. And the officers, it makes it a little bit easier for them too, so we're not calling around at 11 o'clock.
Any other thoughts, comments?
None from me.
I mean, I don't have an...
The big thing would be cost. Is it going to cost more?
As I said, it doesn't cost the taxpayers or the township anymore. It costs the contractor more, the utility or etc. more. So is there a cost? Yes, but it's not borne by us or our department. Now, if we have a job, for example, Sunset Road is hopefully going to start sometime this year, and we need police officers, we will go through the third party and we don't pay that percentage. So we're not going to cost ourselves money by implementing this procedure.
Okay. So, I know I'm not supposed to talk about this, so...
But you are anyway.
So if the high school needs police officers, it's going to cost them money. More money now than it's costing.
I can confirm it, but my recollection is if the high school or the Two Bridges Sewerage Authority or another public entity needed officers, I believe they would benefit from the same lack of that being charged. But I can confirm that.
20%.
Correct. They wouldn't. I believe they wouldn't charge them either.
Because we all know that there's 2 police officers in every home football game, and I don't want the Board of Ed, because then it is costing.
So you'll check into that.
So yeah, I can confirm that. That's my recollection, but I'm not 100%. So I would confirm that or correct it prior to any action. Because again, an ordinance would need to be introduced, adopted, and a resolution adopted.
Good point, Dave.
Yeah, very good point.
Well, we got them too, like we're for the...
Yeah, so you might want to collaborate with...
Well, if it's ours,
It's us, not us.
they're waiving it, but, if there's other local...
Yeah, the school
high
should be
school,
included in
somebody
Yeah, you
should
should
be waived.
So as long as it's outside contractor details, then that would apply. If it's in-house, it doesn't apply. And it also does not pertain to road coverage.
Right, it has nothing to do with the enforcement of laws, responses to calls for service, the operational management of overtime or the need for overtime or filling overtime or emergency response solely remains with the police administration. It does not get offloaded. This is simply for the outside jobs.
Outside. Like a third party. Okay.
So if it's okay with council, I will prepare the necessary ordinance, but answer the questions. So at the next meeting, we'll schedule it for consideration pending approval of those issues.
That works. Okay.
Yep.
Good. Excellent. Right. Moving on with the agenda, there's no reports or notices. Number 14 is council reports and announcements. Councilwoman Florence Lynch.
Yeah, mine's pretty short tonight. We had a planning board meeting last night. We did an easy sign approval for Holy Spirit. They're replacing the current sign that's there. They needed 2 small, variances just because of what our laws say. However, it's the exact same sign that's there now because it's pre-existing our laws. It's been there forever. So they're going to get a nice new wooden sign out Holy Spirit. It was also recommended, the other thing was we did approve the resolution for Hillview Med to build out in 5 stages, so that the resolution was approved. I reported that last time. There was a recommendation that we talked about in length that maybe a review of our ordinances can be done by staff. So when the same applicants are coming forward for the same types of things, we can streamline it better. But that's something really for, Jill and Tamara to look at, which they said they would. Some of the processes, such as a sign or whatever, if you're replacing a sign or whatever. So they did talk about maybe reviewing some of that. I know the Board of Adjustment gives us a report every year, but all we do is look at it and put it in a folder. Maybe we should use that to look at, or somebody should look at it and say, were there 5 applicants going for the same type of thing, that maybe we don't need to jump through all the hoops, okay? Also, I know the county work project on the Turnpike continues. I know you've relayed already to the county about the street fair. Do we think we're going to be done in time for the street fair on September 21st, or we don't know?
We don't know.
But it's been relayed and
Yeah, the response that was provided from the county was the contract runs until October 2nd. Milling and paving is estimated to take 6 days. So the possibility exists that it may be, the street fair is scheduled for a Sunday. So if it needed to be milled and then over the weekend would be paved the next week, it would just be milled asphalt. So
That's 11 days away.
that's what we know.
it's not going to happen.
Well, it could be after it. It could be in the middle of it, or it could be before it.
Yeah.
I doubt it's before it, but we don't know.
Some of those corners are dangerous. I hope we can get through it, especially the one on the corner of the Jackson Ave. How's that coming along?
I'm not aware of anything being dangerous.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
That's why we have police out there.
Yeah, we'll have the police. All right, I just figured I'd mention that. Also, my last question, which is really a question, not a report. Are we getting any closer with getting rid of selling the affordable unit in the Glens?
We are putting forth all possible effort.
Okay. Thank you. That's my report.
Frustrating as it may be, we are putting forth, Scotty's going full speed ahead. We're just...
Adam now knows the pain
Yes.
that people go through.
The pain
It's selling affordable units.
Okay.
Selling and buying.
And I think that's going to be a discussion item for next year, I hope, to maybe look at what we're doing.
It's just...
Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Councilman Cole.
All right, I got a text message from a person that's not in my phone, and, I have quite a few people in my phone, but as we all know, most of our phone numbers are on the town website, so this person just texted me. I finally got over to open play pickleball last night at Greenview. What a night. There must have been 35 to 40 players. They're all rotating peacefully and on the amazing new courts. At one point, I was outside waiting for my group to our group's turn to play. And when I looked around, I thought how amazing this is. Friends, strangers, community members, all in one place having fun, meeting new people because of 6 new pickleball courts. Just amazing. It gives me one more reason to be happy and proud to live in Pequannock Township. Thank you to everyone that was involved in making this possible. So I did respond. She eventually said that her name was Chris, with a K, so I think it's a female. But it was nice to hear, somebody actually, comment and thank the council for what we did at Greenview Park. I will say that, and I mentioned it already to the township manager, we need to set up money aside for the next year, 2 years, 3 years to get the other side of those tennis courts milled, new fence, and fixed like we did the pickleball courts. That's the last thing really that needs attention at Greenview Park to make that a Class A park.
And the handball court.
Well, I think they fixed it, so I don't know how many people play handball, but I also wanted to congratulate our fellow councilman, Vince Saracusa. I went to a ceremony down in Westfield on Friday. Vince was promoted to Colonel of the National Guard. So Vince, congratulations. Thank you. And I heard he took some heat because I took some pictures and I posted on Facebook. He didn't invite all of his friends.
No, I didn't.
But congratulations, very proud. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Dave. Councilwoman Russell. What did I say?
You said it right.
You said it right.
Oh, I did it.
I think.
Sometimes I just blank out.
That's okay. Who was it that, oh, was it what's his face that called me councilman? Okay, so, First Aid Squad. They do so much for the community. If you even think you want to join, please go talk to them. It's really a great group of people. For the month, who's that?
We don't know.
Not me. Is it Bob Chagnon?
There appears to be a connection for those on that side of the dais.
There we go.
Okay, good.
You're up
Stop
again.
trying to take my time, David. Yes, congratulations to Vinny, and all of a sudden Dave, who's also a new grandfather, so congratulations. So back to the first aid. In August, they had 107 calls. 45 of them were to Cedar Crest, so that's still an issue, running up there for little things. Saturday, September 27th is their Oktoberfest. Yes, it's in September, but the weather's going to be gorgeous. It's from 2 to 8. There's food, games, rides, unlimited beer and soda for a price, live music all day. It's going to be a lot of fun. They are currently selling 50/50, so if anybody wants one, if you guys want one, you can just let me know and I'll get you one. They're $100 each. Last year it was $7,100 to the winner, so it's very good. The dinner dance is also scheduled for January 19th. Not that you care. Saturday, December 6th is the pancake breakfast. And environmental, Tom is going to be doing a presentation. I think it was Karen who mentioned it last time. The Environmental Club, they planted all grasses around the lake in Greenview Park, and that's to stop the leaves from going in the water. So they really did a great job, and they worked hard on it. They did a really good job. They really do a lot of cool things behind the scenes. September 20th is hazardous waste at PV Park, and October 18th is the hoedown.
What dinner dance is coming up in January?
That's the first aid dinner dance.
The installation?
The installation dinner, yeah.
Is that, I think that's going to be a joint.
Yeah, I think they're joining, I think it's fire and them.
It's in January?
January 19th, I think is the date, so put it in your calendars now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Kyle. Councilman Saracusa.
All right, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So, a few things first. First off, thanks to the volunteers who come out and they actually participate in these committees. And it's important because if it wasn't for them, then a lot of things in town wouldn't happen, especially those who are concerned on what's going on, whether it be 60 Sunset or any other issue or event that's going on in town, right? So your participation, getting us to yes and right is important. I appreciate it. All right, and that's not to say that we're invested because many of us are multiple generations here in town. So we are fully invested. All right, we do care about this town. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. We want to raise our right hand to do this job, to represent you all. So I assure you, with us being up here, you are represented. Okay. So, just one thing, we have a lot of construction going on the Turnpike. Adam, if we could just maybe talk to the contractor about the placement of some of the construction equipment at night when they're done at the end of the day, just distance from intersections, private property, any of that. Some things have come to my attention. If we could please just be cognizant of that, just maybe a friendly reminder to them.
Yeah, I can relay that to the county with respect to dealing with the contractor unless it's something that's unlawful.
Yep,
and
tracking.
We're limited, but we can follow up with the county.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. All right, so let's go to Parks and Rec. That was the first one. Well, and I say that because they had a really great idea. The Rail Holiday Trail Light Walk. So there's a proposal that we light up the walking trail during the holiday with lights and have like a competition or something like that. So I just reminded them that the trail closes at dusk. All right, so more discussion on that, right? Because we're not going to, have anyone break any laws and accept risk with that, right?
We don't own it.
We don't own it.
We don't own it.
We do not. All right. What else did I want to talk about here? That was the biggest thing for that. Open space. We talked about the different committees. And then the biggest takeaway out of that was naming all the properties down in Pequannock along the river walk for the name of the park. So they were discussing. There's some discussion on that. Nothing's been to come to decision. And then we discussed the Cherry Street Park and on the rail trail, and then that connection. And then let's see. There's one other thing I want to say, but that might be I think those are the three biggest things right there. Yep, and the pickleball courts. How can I forget the pickleball courts, right?
Where are they?
Yep, yeah, it's something that's going on in town, right? So we cut the ribbon tonight. It was a great event. A lot of people out there cooking hot dogs. I couldn't eat the hot dogs, right? Because
you had steak waiting up.
I had to go home.
Make a steak. You had steak.
So, but really, just talk about a small community coming together. Like that. So, hey, this is important to me, right? And if it's important to you, it's important to us. And together, we're going to get to yes. So, great job on the Parks and Rec Committee and everyone else who was involved with that. And that's all I have. If there's any questions.
Thank you, Vince. Just jumping on the pickleball course, there's a basketball court there, too, that there was probably about 45, 50 people playing on, and some adults teaching kids, so it was really cool. If you haven't been there, check it out. So yeah, that was nice to finally get that done, investing money into some parks, which we are going to continue to do. I also want to just thank Vince again for thanking our volunteers. We don't do that nearly enough. We do it a little bit, but not nearly enough. So yes, definitely thank you to all the committees. And like Vince mentioned about the 60 sunset thing, bringing a lot of that stuff to our attention. So thank you for that. The Shade Tree Committee did not meet over the summer. There's a meeting coming up shortly, so that's that. North Pompton Turnpike work, thankfully it's moving along quickly. I think so anyway. I know what's involved in construction and roads and stuff like that. So they seem to be doing a pretty good job from what I can see. Again, school's in session. Anybody with kids knows that. There's a lot of kids running around, bikes, especially these electronic thingies. Just please be careful out there. Parents, talk to your kids. Some of them don't drive too slow. In fact, the guy was doing wheelies in front of me coming up Sunset before. So. Anyway, that's crazy. And then also, I just want to give a shout out to the DPW for the work over the summer, just keeping the grass trimmed, keeping things cleaned up, keeping the fields ready for sports and stuff. So thank you for them, and also for their work at Greenview Park with the new courts. So that's what I got. Yes, sir. Next item on the agenda is public comment. As a reminder, we welcome comments, suggestions, and questions rather than dialogue. Comments are limited to 3 minutes, please. If anyone wishes to address council, please wait to be recognized and come to the microphone and provide your name for the record. Yes, come on up.
Hello, Sandy LaCourte again, and I'm here this time to thank you, Mr. Mayor Dreese, for asking Mr. Uzdike to weigh in on those questions. And I did like what you said, Mr. Uzdike, and I agree that being receptive to ideas is different than voting on them. So I think that clarification personally was very helpful to me. But I listened in on that phone call, and the disturbing thing was Mr. Harrison said his goal is he hopes that we can work something out whereby the ordinance actually changes, so our zoning board's opinion wouldn't be as important. So that which previously would require a variance might not require one. It is my understanding, and this has all been a huge learning process, that we have a zoning board, we have a planning board, we have master plans, and there's a lot of thought and vision that goes into all of that. So it bothers me that this attorney who's representing the insurance company who's defending you wants to kind of bypass the process and change the vision of all the people who've come up with our master plan, who are sitting on our planning board, who are sitting on our zoning board. So I found that a little upsetting. And then, if I don't know what the word is, but the other thing is when he was speaking about cost, because mediation has cost. So it came out that he's volunteering to pay for the full cost of mediation. Now, if mediation is something that both parties are really amenable to, you would think both parties would split the cost, because then there's something in it for both of them. It shows that they are both interested in doing this mediation and possibly coming up with a settlement. So I didn't understand why he would offer to pay for everything when he's trying to work with somebody as a team to figure out a way to solve a problem. So that was just something else when you get a hold of the transcripts or whatever, I would ask to consider, like, I don't get that. I think it should be borne by both parties, because both parties are invested in trying to hear, and hearing things is a good thing. I listened to you, I processed what you said, I came back up here, I understand words matter, and saying he has a slim majority receptive to settling is a little bit different than saying that you voted or he took a straw poll. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else for public comment? Come on down.
Alex Froskus. With regards to the construction equipment, you might want to look into the NJDOT specifications with regarding clear zone. Okay, construction equipment is not supposed to be stored in a clear zone when not being used.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Anybody else for public comment? Come on up.
While Sharon is walking up, I forgot to mention one thing. Unico's 9/11 ceremony is this Thursday at 6:30, right here at Town Hall.
Good point. Thank you.
Unless Sharon wasn't going to mention it, so I'm sorry to take your thunder.
You never steal my thunder. I've been here too long. Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
Yes, never forget our 9/11. Wasn't a good day. So I want to commend this mother and this young child here. They're looking to put in a pump track. Some of you close your ears, but quite a few years ago, there was a very strong group that tried to put in a skateboard park, and part of that was allowing BMX, other alternative sports to take place, and that was shut down very quickly. So while this mother and this young son of hers is introducing a pump track, I would love to ask the council to please strongly consider, as much as you say you'll talk about it at the budget, but to please try to strongly consider adding an alternative sport for kids that don't do football, baseball, basketball. I know pickleball is very big for adults, but it seems like our township, you're creating a vision, so don't forget about those young children that once filled this room that asked for a park that was going to accommodate something for them. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Sharon. Anybody else for public comment? Right, seeing none, we're going to close this section of the meeting and move on with the approval of the minutes. So we got May 5th, June 10th, July 7th, August 12th regular meetings, and the July 22nd special meeting that Vince and I have to abstain from. That's my note. Any comments on the minutes?
Nope.
Nope, no comments? Is there a motion to approve these minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, now, well, I guess let's split this up, so
You can do one, it's okay.
Okay, we can do
You can just
one.
abstain on those two.
Okay, so I'm going to abstain on the July 22nd.
As will I.
Okay, so who's, I don't know, how do you second this? You can figure that out.
You
I
did-
can't say all in
you
favor, but
seconded.
we said all in
Yeah.
favor. So is
There-
anybody opposed? So,
We all approved, yes.
Thank you.
so, there was a, next item on the agenda is closed session discussion. Is there a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the Township Council to meet in executive session to discuss matters of attorney-client privilege?
I'll make that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? At this time, the public portion of the meeting is recessed for the closed session. Thank you. Thank you for coming, Johnny. Did you have fun?